This tutorial is about editing text. We're going to start on the help page. You did bookmark it, didn't you? Well, if not, you can enter your URL followed by / and help.html. First thing we're going to do is go over to the left-hand sidebar here and select our blank page template. Now we're going to bring up our Adobe InContext Editor by hitting the Control and E key at the same time. Once the editor has loaded, we then select the duplicate page button over on the right hand side. When prompted for a new page title, we're going to enter in about our agency. Then we're going to drop down here to the file name box, highlight what's already there, hit the delete key to get rid of it, and type in ABOUT. And come down and click on the Create Page button. A copy will now open in the InContext Editor and it'll switch automatically to the editing mode. Before we get actually started with editing, let's take a quick tour of the editing options up here on the top gray band. First though, you need to note that you need to scroll the page down to actually see the editable text areas. And you'll notice that there are two of these, and they're both surrounded by dotted boxes. We're going to work in this top box here, so we're going to click, and you'll notice that the rest of the page grays out and our editable area remains bright. Now this tutorial is only about editing text, so I'm going to make sure that the text mode button is selected on the far left side. Notice as I move my cursor from button to button that there's a tooltip that pops up explaining what each button or tool is for. I'm sure you can't see these in this tutorial, but in real life you'll be able to. As we move on to the right, there are two buttons here that are currently grayed out. These are your undo and redo buttons. Once you actually do something down in the editable area, the buttons will come to life and you'll be able to undo the last thing you did. This is convenient for when you mistakenly delete something. Further to the right is a drop-down menu of the various predefined styles that we can apply. Next to that window is one that shows which font family is selected. The ability to change this has been disabled to maintain consistency across your website. The next window allows you to choose type size. This you can change. The next three buttons turn on or off bold, italic, and underline. The following drop-down menu is for various paragraph alignments. Align left, center, align right, or justify. The next two buttons are used to create bulleted or numbered list. And the final two are to indent a paragraph or to outdent or return it back to normal. Alrighty, now that we've finished our tour of the formatting bar, let's get back to building our page. I'm going to create a new About Us page, and I've already composed what I want to say in Microsoft Word. So now I'm going to switch over to that Word document and hit Control and A at the same time to highlight all the text in the document, and then I'm going to hit the Control plus the C key to copy it onto the clipboard. Now I'm going to switch back to our browser, and I'm going to highlight all the existing text that's in there because I don't need that anymore, and hit the delete key. Now I hit the Control plus the V key to paste in the new copy. Now this first line, expert service in a fun environment, I want it to stand out. So I'm going to highlight it and go over to the advanced menu bar and click on the headings and select heading 1. The second paragraph starts with a quote, and I'd kind of like to emphasize that quote, so I'm going to highlight that portion here and click on the italics button. I think I'm also going to change the formatting on the following paragraph. We treat every customer like a best friend. So I'm going to highlight this, click on the Align Options and choose Center. And then I'm going to choose Bold to make that stand out a little bit more. This next paragraph, we service the counties of Sarasota, Charlotte, Manatee, and Lee. Would be nice if it was formatted in a bulleted list. So to do that, I'm going to place my cursor after the counties of, right after the colon there, and hit the Enter key. Then I'm going to do the same after each of the county names. I'm going to take out the AND. Now I'm going to select all of these lines that have the counties and go up here and click the bulleted list button. Cool, huh? I also think it'd look nice if this first line, we service the counties of, were in blue. First I'm going to highlight that line. Now we have two choices. I could go up here to the Advanced drop-down menu and choose a font color. But as you can see, there's all different kinds of shades of blue here. And if I wanted to put the same color blue onto another section somewhere else, I might not remember which one I used the first time. So I think it's easier if you go to the predefined styles over here. Down towards the bottom, they're in alphabetical order, are three text styles. One that says bright blue, one that's dark blue, and one that is dark red. I'm going to choose the dark blue button. Now let's look at the next paragraph, the one that lists the cities that we serve. Now this wouldn't work for the bulleted list because there's just too many different cities here. But I don't really like the way it looks now. Maybe it'd look better if I put the cities include on one line and then a list of the cities on the other. So let's put my cursor at the beginning of the city there and hit the Enter button. Now, I don't like the way that looks either. I don't want this extra space in here. I just want it to insert a line break, not a paragraph break. So let's go up and click the Undo button. And this time, instead of just clicking the Enter key, let's hold the Shift key down and click Enter. That inserts just a line break. Now that looks a lot better for this. But I want this to match this up here, so I'm going to highlight this, go back up to my Styles button, go down to my dark blue text style, and there. I think that looks a lot better. Now this next line here, this also needs to be a heading, but not quite as prominent as the one up at the beginning of the page. So we'll go over here under Advanced, under Headings, and let's try Heading 2. That does it for the main content area. Now we can drop down to the other editable area and change the text that goes on the bottom of each page. Now I would recommend storing this text in a little notepad file that you can just copy and paste in here on every page, just like I did on the rest of this content. Once I'm done, I want to go down here to the bottom and click on the Save Draft button. And after saving, I can hit the Done button, which will remove me from the editing mode. They now say Discard Draft and Publish Draft. If I choose the Discard Draft, it will permanently delete the file I was just working on. That's not what I want to do, so I'll just click the Publish Draft button, which will save this page to the web server. First though, it's going to ask me if I'm really sure this is what I want to do, which I am, so I'll click the Publish button again. Now had I just exited without hitting the Publishing button, the original version would still appear on the web. But if I went back to that page with my browser and then re-entered the editing mode, my draft version would appear, allowing me to go ahead and continue the editing or to publish it at this later date. I can now click on the Sign Out button and I'm done. But there's still one more thing I need to do before this page is truly part of my website. I need to add this page to my navigational bar on the left hand side so that people can find it. Have a look at the next video tutorial, which is maintaining your site navigation links.